Hello and welcome to today's video. So before I get going on the actual concept today and give you some information on how to apply it, I want to tell you why this is such an important one. So today we're talking about numbing emotion. And let me take a step back. So when I was a kid growing up, I overate a lot of food all the time. I was pretty overweight. At 12 years old or 13 years old, I was 190 pounds and I was about 5'4". So I was my dad used to call me a little barrel. So I ate food a lot. And then as I got older, I learned to use other substances too. So I eventually started smoking cigarettes. I vaped. I smoked weed from the ages of 16 to 18 pretty much every single day during my last couple of years of high school. And then I also caught myself drinking pretty heavily as I got older. And I wanted to figure out why was it that most times I could control myself and then there was just certain things that I had no control over my life. And I came into the psych world and I actually didn't find an answer for it. And when I got into the life coaching world, I learned about a concept called numbing emotions. And pretty much numbing emotions is using external things to change how you feel internally. And it wasn't until I heard that statement and understood that I might be potentially feeling emotions in my body that I was able to step back and actually learn how to feel my body and to acknowledge that maybe the reason why I was using so many substances is because I didn't like how I felt emotionally. And I had never had any awareness of this. When I first started doing life coaching, they said that emotions are vibrations in your body and you can feel them. And it was like the first time that I had an aha moment. So I started paying attention. I said, if I have all these emotions in my body and they're guiding my action, then I should probably learn to feel them. So I did. And I learned that I'm a very anxious person. I have a lot of anxiety, and that I have a tendency to try to get out of those emotions, anxiety, boredom, guilt, shame, fear, by using things externally. And that makes sense looking back. As a kid, I ate food all the time. I had a lot of shame, guilt, embarrassment. I wasn't happy with myself. I was overweight. I was in the closet, had very low self-esteem. And as an adult, I was doing the same thing. So it's just important to understand that when you're using things to get out of your emotions, you're actually not processing the emotion and you're typically creating net negative results. And the problem with numbing isn't that it's always inherently bad, because I don't believe that it is. But typically, we're doing it to a point where it's really creating results in our life that we don't want and we don't feel like we're in control. So the way to take control over your actions is to learn how to feel and process your emotions. And in the last video, or the first video that I posted about the 50-50 rule, you can go back and find it. I talked about how life is always 50-50, which there's always good and bad emotions. So the trick isn't to avoid negative emotions. It's actually to learn how to feel them. And I want to offer this too. We're actually taught to avoid our emotions. Our brain has a tendency to want to avoid negative things. And our society has a problem with concentrating things and making them seem really desirable so that we can use them to avoid our emotions. Things like alcohol, nicotine and cigarettes, processed foods like sugar and flour, those things have never existed in society or in nature before. So our society has taken those things, it's concentrated them down, and we use them all the time to get out of our emotions. So it's really important to understand that when you're taking actions you don't want to take, the reason why you're taking them is because you have an experience in your body, physical vibration, it's an emotion that you're trying to get out of. That's why things feel compulsive or compelling. So it's just a really good thing to start to be aware that you might be numbing your emotions. It's not always a bad thing, but if you're creating results in your life that you don't want, like you're overweight and you don't want to be, or you drink alcohol more than you'd like, or maybe you're addicted to nicotine and you want to get away from it, or maybe you smoke weed all the time, you don't know why. The reason is because you have emotions in your body that are compelling you to get out of them. And you've trained yourself growing up, and society's trained you to do this as well, to get out of your emotions using things outside of yourself. This could also include things like porn, social media. And the reason why it's so important to understand this is because when you are constantly using things outside of yourself to get away from negative emotions, it's allowing you to tolerate a life that you're not happy in. And this is how, when people come up to me and they say, well, I want to move, I feel stuck, I just can't figure it out. It's like the reason why you're stuck, the reason why you don't have compelling desire to get out of the situation you're in and find something better, is because you're right now allowing yourself to tolerate all the uncomfortable emotions by just numbing over them. So your life's probably just stagnating. So it's really important to understand, if you want to change your life, if you want to find desire and you want to find goals and actually something important for you to move forward with, stop numbing your emotions. Because the minute that you stop numbing your emotions, all the negative ones are going to come up, but all the positive ones that are going to guide you forward are also going to come up. Because when you numb emotion, you can't just numb the negative ones. You also numb the desire you have for life. So I know I threw a lot at you in this video today. It's a really amazing topic. I am all about this. This is the main reason I got into coaching was because I had these issues and I found help in this field. So just start to pay attention. Start to pay attention to the feelings in your body, the vibrations. There's no wrong way to sit with an emotion. Just be present with it. Ask yourself questions. What does it feel like? What's it make me want to do? And below, I'm going to give you a really quick exercise to help you figure out if you are numbing emotion in your life.